Have you been invited on your first long distance ride? Or maybe you're inviting somebody along that you haven't done a long distance ride with before. Well, I've got some tips for you on preparing for that long distance bucket list ride. Hello and welcome to Road Rush Nation. I'm Terry, your host here, and thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Really appreciate it. If you happen to be a member of the nation, thank you so much. But if you'd like to be a member of the nation, it's free. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. All right. I wanted to do this video out to help those that are going to go on your first long distance ride for a few tips. We talk always about the bike, but how about you as the rider? So I wanted to give you some tips for you as somebody that's going on your first long distance ride, and also for those that have invited you on a long distance ride. Maybe you said, hey, we're gonna go to Sturgis, and you've invited these folks along, but you've never ridden with them and you're not quite sure about how they'll do. I'm going to give you some things also for you to ask to make your whole trip a little bit more enjoyable and hopefully not have any incidents. The first thing is for that new long distance rider who this is your first long trip and you're ready to go. All right, you always check the bike. That's just a normal thing. Make sure it's in good condition, tires, blah, 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 right? I suggest you take it into maybe a dealership and say, hey, I'm going to be going on a long distance trip. Can you give it a good once over for me and tell me if there's any issues with the bike? You'll want that just for peace of mind. Getting past the bike, you as the rider, these are the things I'm going to suggest for you. What kind of condition have you put yourself in to do a longer ride? If a long ride to you currently is like 100 miles, well, you're going to be doing 200 to 300 in a day. So I would suggest you go before you ever take off on your trip and start doing a few more miles, and seeing how you feel. Kind of assess as you're sitting on your bike how you feel physically. So if you're uncomfortable in your lower back, your booty, your arms, maybe it's on the back side of your arms, you're feeling fatigued, on your bars, take note, and take those seriously, because as you go on a longer ride, those things get amplified. So here's some things that you can do to resolve maybe some of those issues. And yes, they'll deal with the bike, but let me show you those. So take a good look at your seat. If you're having issues with how comfortable you feel, I would suggest you take a look at what you're riding on. You may have a stock seat, you may have a custom seat, or you may have just an aftermarket seat. So one of the things I do to help relieve that lower back and any of those other issues is we always ride with the Airhawk seat covers. These are great for giving you support for your booty and your back. The other thing you'll see also, Aaron and I both have these adjustable backrests that are done by Harley. And what's neat about the backrest system is I have actually underneath, well, it's actually on the other side, but underneath I have the toggle switch. So as I'm going down the road, I can put my fingers underneath there and grab the toggle switch to adjust. The other thing too to think about is dehydration. If you're going to only drink when you are stopped, and you are thirsty as heck when you stop, you're already dehydrated. You were dehydrated the minute, actually before, your body tells you, hey, you're thirsty. So let me show you what we do and what we have on our bikes to help with that. To help with the dehydration on our trips, we have cup holders, and what we do is we keep Yetis filled with ice and water. And when we're driving down the road, we will drink as we're riding. We don't wait for a stop. We can keep drinking as we go along. That's real important for keeping you from dehydrating and getting into a dangerous situation, especially in the heat. One of the things, though, to make sure I do drink a lot of water is, you'll notice I have a shark helmet, and it's a modular helmet, and I can be riding down the road, flip it, and mine flips all the way back. It's not one of the modulars that has, as I call it, the air dam up top. But but I can drink on the highway while we're tooling down the road with no issues. And I will tell you, it makes a huge difference where we have friends who don't do that, and by the time we make a stop, you can tell the heat is really getting to them because they're not hydrating, and that's what we do. We also will keep a Yeti cooler thermos filled with ice and water. We do that first thing in the morning so that we have plenty of it when we're taking those long trips. You as a new long distance rider, that's something to think about. Also, for those of you that may be leading, you may want to suggest that, because buying a bottle of water, sticking it in your saddlebag and hoping that, oh, that'll stay cold, it won't. You'll be glad that you have that thermos full of ice and water. And we just pick up the ice in the morning from our hotel. They got ice machines, stick it in there, get some water, we're good to go for that day. Okay, new long distance rider, let's talk about fuel. First of all, the thing that you want to tell your leads on the trip is, hey, what is the range of your bike, meaning mileage? Because whichever bike has the least amount of miles per gallon, that's how you kind of want to set, you'll do your fuel stops. We will do them probably every 100 miles or so, and make sure who's ever in the lead, if you're the type that likes to go all the way down to where you get the reserve mark that, hey, and your bike tells you, hey dude, you're down to hardly anything, that can make other riders very nervous because they don't do that. So make sure that at the beginning you kind of talk about that, as to say, how often are we going to do fuel stops? So getting back to the fuel, one of the things too that you may want to be aware of is if you're coming from the east or west coast, you're going to run into different fuel blends here in the Midwest. For example, you'll see biofuels. You'll pull up to the gas station and it'll say alcohol free. That's the ones you want, because the other one is, even though it's cheaper, it'll say biofuels. And what that is basically that's that vegetable corn fuel that you'll hear that's mixed with gasoline. You're going to notice a difference on the miles per gallon that you'll get from your bike, and potentially the horsepower you're pulling. You kind of feel it kind of like, it's not quite as quick and peppy as it used to be. That will happen. You may get into areas where you can't get the alcohol free, you can't get the pure gasoline. I recommend that you keep in your saddlebag a little bottle of octane booster, which you can pick up at your Harley stores. It's always good to keep in there, so even if you run into a gas station that doesn't have the higher octane, you can use it, but it's also great for the biofuels to put a little bit into your tank to make sure you're getting the performance and the miles that you think you are. That octane booster is also a good thing if you're having to be the lead, just to put a couple in your bag just to keep everybody happy. For that new long distance rider, if you're not used to doing turns, and I'm talking twisties, I'm talking curves, you're used to just doing straight lines, maybe it's just been, hey, I'm going to bar hop, and that's been your extent, go out, find some roundabouts to just keep practicing, so that when you do get out on the road, and if you're especially up in the Black Hills, there's some pretty hairy hairpin turns up there, and you're going to have a lot of traffic and stuff around, people around you and things that you'll need to dodge. You'll want to be a little more comfortable, so do a little bit of prepping if you need to. Once you go on that first long distance trip with your friends, you will be hooked. I guarantee you, because yeah, that's the way we do it. And it's funny because when we tell people, oh, we take long distance rides, and we tell them how far we're going, you know, like we went down to Key West, we've gone out to California from here, and this summer we are going up to Maine, and here we're leaving in just a couple weeks, which is why I put this together, because I thought, oh, there's a lot of folks that are going to be out doing their first long distance trips, and I want it to be a successful and memorable event for you. So hopefully these tips will help you, even if you are a seasoned rider, but you've got that newbie in your group who you've never taken a trip with. And when I say newbie, I mean new to you and your group. Make sure you talk it out. Make sure everybody's agreement, hey, we're going to go this fast. This is how we're doing things. This is the routes. If you get separated, make sure that everybody knows where the meeting point is for that evening, and have them ride to that spot, whether it's a hotel or a town, and make sure everybody's got each other's phone numbers. That's also another good trick, because you know, you don't think about it, you just kind of go, oh, okay, but make sure everybody's got everybody's contact. Just another little tidbit. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you coming and checking things out. Remember, if you'd like to be a member of the nation, it's free. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell. Ride safe, and I hope to catch you on the highways.